Expo here in a second. But I believe before this Protoss player even puts up his Nexus, no, maybe I'm wrong. Before Psy notices his Nexus, obviously, the Protoss player is going to build a couple of cannons to help defend that Expo. And this is something we don't see often. This is a Protoss player that's pretty much just padding his early game harassment and sitting here and trying to out macro a Zerg player, which he's doing quite a fine job of right now. He's got the Zerg contained. Psy knows that he can't really do a whole lot. He's going to bring his wave of wings. This all he can see with the Overlord is, you know, one photon cannon, a couple of assimilators in the Nexus. He has no idea all of this stuff is over here. He gets his slings in here, he realizes that it's here, he's a couple seconds too late, and he backs out. Protoss player has both of those initial upgrades up. Now he's getting ground armor level 2 and ground weapons level 2. That's weird. I didn't know he had weapons level 1, so he must have upgraded weapons level 1 earlier in the match. He doesn't have charge or blink, but right now it looks like he's just going with he's got a couple sentries in order to make his guardian shield, which is very important. And then he's building Colossus and Stalkers. He's already got the upgrade on his robotics facility to increase the range on the Colossus, so they'll be able to snipe out all those pesky Zerg ground units from far, while his Stalkers get in there and take out any type of air that Psy might try to make, etc. Losing that Expo early, right here, really hurt Psy pretty bad. He fell behind in his macro game. He fell behind in resources. Right now, 65 probes to 44 drones. This guy has 3 almost fully saturated minerals expansions. He's got the high yield minerals. He's got just as many units as the Zerg player does. He's done a very good job of containing Psy in his base, which is hard to do. It's really not easy to contain a Zerg player. Psy's responded to the Colossus by making himself a few Corruptors, and I believe we're going to see a fight here in a couple minutes. Psy's still trying to play catch-up in the money game, obviously. He's getting himself another hatchery over here, and he's still spreading creep everywhere to try and help him out in any way he possibly can. And I believe here we're going to see a little fight. The Guardian Shield goes up, and as you can see, there's 5 Colossus right here. I don't think Psy realizes how many Colossus there are. He tries getting his Corruptors in there to take out the Colossus. Excuse me. To take out the Colossus as best he can, but the Stalkers and the Sentries in the back are just destroying his Corruptors as fast as possible. And the Colossus are just sitting in the back, melting away the Zerg ground units. He has to retreat right now. The Protoss is actually getting up a 3rd expansion, his 4th base total now. And the minerals are just flowing in for this guy. He's got minerals and gas coming out everywhere. He has 70 probes to the 52 drones by Psy. He's just all out winning this macro game right now, which is very unusual for you to see a Protoss player being able to win macro games versus Zerg. Psy continues to create Corruptors. He knows that the major reason he lost that fight was because those Colossus were there. That's the only reason he had to retreat. These Zerg ground units would be way too much for just a Stalker and an Immortal and Sentry army. But the fact that those Colossus are there just backing him up, that really hurts Psy in the ground game. He's going to have to get a lot of Corruptors in order to stop this Protoss player. And here comes another fight. As you can see, he throws down a couple force fields to force his ground units backwards, and the Corruptors are going to come in here and try to actually pick off a couple of these Colossus before he brings his ground units in. But with that range upgrade, this one Colossus is shooting down these close units. The other units are too far really to be doing a whole lot of damage. And this bad Colossus was melting away at the hatchery. By the time he finally is able to kill enough Colossus, he just has no ground units left. There's nothing has to abandon this expo. The Toss player takes it with relative ease. He has 5 gateways up. He's got more upgrades coming to his ground units. He's finally researching charge on his Zealots. If you see, like, all the minerals this guy has had this entire game. He actually rallies a couple Colossus up here, which he didn't notice, I believe. There's still one sitting here. He realized that one was there. But the robotics facilities were rallied up to that point before, and he's still just pumping out the Colossus. He's got those warp gates bringing himself in more Stalkers, more Zealots. He's got 2 more gateways coming up. So he's just dominating with the sheer fact that he has way more money than this guy has. He's now building himself 3 Stargates. I actually don't believe he gets to use those this game. He's also has Psystorm researched, and now he's researching the Kadrina Amulet, which gives the High Templars enough energy to cast Storm the second that they come out from a warp gate. So he'll be able to use those if he were to get attacked here. Now I believe Sai is a very safe player. He doesn't like to push hard on opponents unless he knows that he's going to win. When he's ahead, he stays ahead and makes sure he has the victory before he attacks somebody. And he just simply, I believe that with the units that he massed really quick, he might have been able to hit down here and get a pretty good damage on this expansion, but he just lets the Protoss player get the cannons up. He's got more Colossus, more Stalkers coming, and he's simply just going to get outnumbered by this Protoss player. The Toss player is up here now building some more pylons. I don't know if he's going to try to expo here, but Sai puts a stop to that unless he brings some Stalkers to kill an Overlord. The creep there is going to prevent the Protoss player from building his Nexus anywhere near those minerals, so... Sai has still not... He doesn't really have the cash and the gas right now in order to get Broodlords. He maybe should have got the Infestation Pit a little sooner, should have got himself a hive a little bit quicker, and that way he could have made the transition into Broodlords a lot quicker than he does right here. He realizes at this point the way the Toss player's playing, how he's nice and conservative, he's not pushing too hard, he realizes he has the mineral and gas lead. He's just going to sit here, mass up his units, make sure he will win the fight, and then he's going to push on the Zerg. Which could have been a mistake on his part if he let the Zerg get to Broodlords, and he didn't do a very good job of scouting with his observers. So if the Zerg did get to Broodlords, this would have been a very different ending than it happens to turn out to be. But the Protoss player just milks the fact that he had to leave, takes down the expo bit. He's got Storm this time for the Zerg units, and it's just too much. All of these Colossus, the Corruptors just can't take them out quick enough. The Hydras are losing back in the back. Everything's just not going right here. The Protoss is very good at countering everything. Psystorm pretty much counters anything a Zerg player can throw at a Toss, but after his energy is gone, he instantly works those High Templars and the Archons. Very smart there. There's no point in having High Templars just running around doing nothing because they don't have an auto attack. All they can do is cast.